What is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. In today's video, I thought we would do a salary cap breakdown for your Detroit Pistons. As you know, we had over $30 million in cap space this past summer, and the way we used it was on drafting 3 rookies, signing some big contracts to some players that you guys like and some players that you don't, but let's get straight into it. So this is the cap space for your Detroit Pistons. This is the 15-man roster. Didn't include Frank Jackson or Saben Lee. They're two-way contracts. Don't really know if they'll be here next year. But if they are, that's great. But they're not on the main 15-man roster. They're just emergencies in case, someone's injured or COVID protocol. Blake Griffin right now is making $36.5 million, as you guys know. Has one more year left on his contract. He's got a player option of $38 million, I believe. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but yeah, we have Blake for $36.5 million. Newly acquired Piston this summer, Jerami Grant, signed a 3-year, $60 million contract with the Pistons. He's set to make $19 million for the year, and he's playing like an all-star. And I know a lot of you guys are really high on the Jerami Grant hype train right now. Delon Wright comes in at the 3rd highest Piston on this list. He's making $9 million. Now, the Pistons did not give him $9 million. This was a sign-and trade. It was a 3-team trade with the Houston Rockets, the Oklahoma City, I think it was Houston, Dallas, and OKC, something crazy like that during the summer. And we have Delon Wright for $9 million. Now, do I think he's worth $9 million? Personally, no. But he's playing a role right now that the Pistons desperately need. Derrick Rose and him are the point guards since Killian is out, and he's the starting point guard right now. And he's put together a couple of games where he's getting more comfortable with the team, and I think he's going to play that backup role next year for your Detroit Pistons. Mason Plumlee comes in at the 4th highest paid Piston on this list. He signed a 3-year, $25 million contract with the Pistons. I know a lot of you guys are still upset over it, and it has nothing to do with his playing style. The reason why they went out and got guys like Jerami Grant and Mason Plumlee is they're trying to rebuild that culture, and those are 2 great locker room guys. Now, whether you agree with the contracts or not, that's up to you. That's your opinion, and I'm open to listening to your opinions about the type of contracts the Pistons sign. But just know that's the main reason why they went out and signed Mason Plumlee for $8 million. That's the main reason why they did a $19 million sign-and trade with the Nuggets for Jerami Grant is they want culture setters in this locker room, and those guys are perfect culture-setting players. The 5th highest paid Piston is Derrick Rose. He's making $7.6 million this year. Now, he's a guy I think the Pistons are going to flip at the deadline because you're going to have championship teams. You're going to have teams that want to make the playoffs, or maybe teams that have a point guard that's out right now. Look at Derrick Rose. Now, whether the Pistons get that first-round draft pick, because that's what they're asking for, I don't know if they will for this year's draft, maybe next year's draft, or maybe you can get a 2nd-round pick and a younger player. That's also an option for him, but I really don't know what's going to happen with Derrick Rose. My gut tells me he's going to get traded. Now, Killian Hayes is the 6th highest paid player on this team, and he's on a rookie contract for $5 million. Like I said, we really didn't get to see too much of him this year with that hip strain. Currently in rehab, he was, getting some shots up in practice before the game started. This standstill, nothing. He wasn't like moving around too crazy, but he was dribbling the ball. He was getting some shots up. So sounds like rehab is, doing pretty well for him, and I'm happy to see him back on the court eventually. Rodney McGruder comes in at the next guy on this list. He's set to make $5.1 million for this year. Now, he was a guy that the Pistons did acquire via the Luke Kennard trade. He was attached to that trade, and we really don't use him. He's kind of like maybe like a 14th man on this bench. And, like I said, I forget he's actually on the team at times because we just don't play him. But he comes in at $5.1 million for your Pistons. Josh Jackson is at a $4.7 million contract for this year. And he's a guy that's pretty high in the rotation right now. He's actually getting minutes over Shady Bay currently for his defense and just his versatility. Now, he has come back down to earth because when he was starting the season, he was shooting an absurd percentage from 3. I think he's back down to like 27 to 30% from 3, which, that's usually what he averages, around 12 points a game. And I think a lot of us in Detroit are happy to see Josh thrive here in Detroit. Next is Sekou Doumbouya. He's on a $3.4 million contract. He's still on his rookie contract, by the way. And he's another guy that, for $3 million, that's a steal for a player like Sekou Doumbouya. I think he has maybe a year or two left on his rookie deal. We have some team options that we can pick up for Sekou, but $3.4 million is a steal for Sekou, in my opinion. Coming up next is Isaiah Stewart. Now, he's going to be on a rookie deal for a couple of years. He's at $3.1 million for this year for your Pistons, and I think he's easily becoming a fan favorite in Detroit. People love Isaiah Stewart. I feel like I post so much Isaiah Stewart highlights when we're on Twitter and Instagram because he's just a guy that's out there hustling, grabbing rebounds, getting under the skin of veterans like DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, Montrezl Harrell last night. I love Isaiah Stewart. I think he's going to be a corner piece for this team long term. Saddiq Bey comes in at $2.6 million for your Pistons. Now, he was the 19th overall pick. He's going to be on a rookie deal as well for, $2.5 million per year. I think that's a steal for him. He's a 3-and-D wing that the Pistons probably value long term. Like I said, Josh Jackson's above him in the rotation right now. Each rookie's going to have their growing pains, but I still love Saddiq's game. I think he's going to be a really great player long term with the Pistons. Wayne Ellington comes in next at a 2.5 vets minimum. And I think him and Derrick Rose are the two players on this team that are the most tradable assets. Getting a $2.5 million contract with Wayne Ellington, and the way he's shooting the basketball right now, I'm sure there are a lot of teams out there calling the Pistons, seeing what they want for his services, because come championship time, you're going to need shooters like Wayne Ellington. So maybe the Pistons flip him, maybe they don't. I really don't know what Wayne wants, and I don't know what the Pistons want long term with him. Coming up next is Jahlil Okafor. Now, he signed a minimum deal to come here to Detroit, which I absolutely love. $1.8 million. Now, Isaiah Stewart actually beat him in the rotation because before the season started, he was right behind Mason Plumlee, and Isaiah Stewart has beat him out. So he's the third string center on the bench at a vets minimum. So you're not really going to complain too much. $1.8 million for Jahlil Okafor. The next player coming on the list is Svi Mykhailiuk, who had a team option, and they picked it up for $1.6 million this year. Now, he's kind of in and out of the rotations at times, and that's to be expected with the way Wayne Ellington is playing. It's hard to find minutes for Svi, and you can understand kind of like having all these players on this roster and trying to, find minutes for Svi at either the shooting guard or the forward position, but he's under contract for one more year with the Pistons. He's going to be a free agent next year. But don't know if the Pistons try to flip him either at the deadline because he's on the last year of his contract. And, he's a prospect. He's a guy that's a shooter. And, you always need shooters in the NBA. Don't really know, though, if they will flip him or not. And coming up last is Deividas Sirvydis. Now, he's played in garbage time so far, and he's under contract for 3 years. 2 of those are guaranteed for Sirvydis. Now, I know a lot of us, we hype him up so much because we want to see what's there with him. Time will tell if the Pistons keep him or not, but he's on a really cheap deal. He was a second-round pick, as you guys remember. Picked him over guys like Bol and others, but so far we don't really know what we have in Deividas Sirvydis. But that is the complete 15-man roster for your Detroit Pistons. This is what they're going to be making in 2021. Talk to me in the comment section how you guys are feeling about the type of contracts that these players signed. Maybe there's a player you think that's grossly overpaid. Let me know down below in the comment section. I'll talk to you guys down there. Like always, I hope you guys are staying safe. Take care. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.